class, we are discussing about the lesson, I believe that books will never disappear. We know that it is an interview between the two writers, one of the great blind writer Louis Morris and the another one is Roberto Alipani. Already we have seen in this lesson Morris's views on different topics, and here he explained about his life's experiences and opinions towards some of the topics. So in the first part of the lesson, we already come to know that Morris's views on different topics, and those three important things are about his family, blindness, and themes of books. Here he explained in the first point, family, he ಕವಿತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸಲಾಗುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಅಲಂಕಾರದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ. And it exists from our very beginnings. Would you expound on that concept, Boris? ಅವರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, according to you, what is metaphor and how would you define it? Now, Alejandro, he asked the questions to Boris. Now, Boris, he says that, yes, certainly. I believe that metaphors, if they are truly metaphors, exist from the beginning of time. According to Boris, as a poet, he says that metaphors already it's existed from the beginning of time. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ metaphors ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೂಪಕಗಳು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮೊದಲೇ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಾಲದ ಆರಂಭ ಆಯಿತೋ ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಈ metaphors ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So here a question arises that what is metaphor? What is metaphor? Here, metaphor, it is a figure of speech, and here we can see the comparison between the two unlike things. For example, using some of the word called is, are, was, and were. Here, once again, let me repeat it again. What is metaphor? Metaphor, it is a figure of speech, and here we can see the comparison between the two unlike things using some of the words called is, were, was, and are. Also, we can here see it compares one thing to the another. For example, one is heart of stone. Heart of stone. Then the word stage. And the next thing is time is money. Time is money. See, these are the important, these are the examples for the metaphors. Then here he questions what about the metaphors. It is exist from our very beginnings. Could you expound it on that concept, Boris? Now Boris he says that yes, certainly I believe that metaphors, if they are truly metaphors, exist from the beginning of time. But we expresses them differently. I have occasionally thought of reducing all the metaphors to 5 or 6. Seem to me to be the essential metaphors. Now, the Boris, as a poet, he reduced, or he already know that, and he also used some of the metaphors in his poetry too. Now, Boris, he reduced, or he brings it down that metaphors into the 5 to 6 points. Now he says that, okay, what are those important and the essential metaphors? Here Boris explains like this. Well, some of the important and the essential metaphors that we are using in all literatures, in the all languages too. Here he says that time and river, life and dreams, death and sleep, stars and eyes, and flowers and woman. Let me repeat it again. Some of the important and the essential metaphors we can see in all literature, in all languages, that is time and river. Time and river ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ನದಿ, and it's always flowing. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಾಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ನದಿ ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಅಡೆತಡೆಗಳೇ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಫ್ಲೋವಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಚಲಿಸ್ತಾನೆ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. And the next thing, life and dreams, ಜೀವನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕನಸು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೀವನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನಸನ್ನು ಸಾಕಾರಗೊಳಿಸುವಂತದ್ದು ಜೀವನ, ಅಥವಾ ಕನಸು ಇರೋದೇ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಕನಸುಗಳನ್ನ ಸಾಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ. Here he says that life and dreams, these are the